Good morning, students. Let's start with Chief Seattle's speech. I have already completed half of the chapter, and I have already explained you about this whole story. So it's a nice story. You'll have to read it to understand it. We'll start from page number 42, from where the Chief Seattle is actually talking about his youth. He says your youth is impulsive. No, he's telling his own people that see what was wrong with our young people was that they were impulsive, they were impatient, they were relentless, and it was very difficult for them to understand something. Then he says here, these people, these young people of my tribe, they used to get angry at anything, or they had no specific reason, but they used to get angry and then they used to go out and fight. Now, he says here, listen, I really want you to read, and if you have your books, that will help. He says here, youth is impulsive. Impulsive means impatient. So he says here, when people they're young, they're hot-blooded, they're impulsive. They do not care about their actions. They're more into, being impatient. When our young men grow angry at some real or imaginary wrong. So he says here, when these young people, they used to get angry at anything, maybe something that is imaginary or something real, what they used to do, they used to disfigure their faces. They used to paint their faces with the black color, and then this black color is a symbol of their black hearts, their hearts filled with revenge and hatred. So what these people they used to do, see, they used to disfigure their faces with black paint. It denotes that their hearts are black. So it is a symbol of their hearts, means their hearts were black, and that they are often cruel and relentless. These young people, they were often very cruel and harsh. And our old men and old women are unable to restrain them. And what was the problem with the old people in the house? They were unable to control their young children. They were unable to control control the youth. Thus it has ever been. So he says here, and it has always been like that. The young people have always been reluctant, they've always been impulsive, and these old people they were never able to control these young people, okay? Thus it was when the white man began to push our forefathers ever westward. So this, because of this only, these white people, they started pushing these natives towards the west. Means these whites, they started entering into their lands. But let us hope that hostilities between us may never return. So he says here, I can only hope that that enmity between us, means the red Indians and whites, should never return. We would have nothing to lose and we would have everything to lose and nothing to gain. So he says here, why there's a reason. Because if we'll fight, we'll have, of course, we will lose everything that we have and will not gain anything. Right? Because even natives or these red Indians were aware of the fact that these whites were very, very powerful. Okay? Then he says here, we would have everything to lose and nothing to gain. Revenge by young men is considered gain, even at the cost of their own lives. So he's talking about the youth again. He's saying that these young people of my tribe, for them taking revenge was the biggest thing. And by doing so, what they were doing, they were losing their lives. And the people who were at home, these are the ones who were suffering. So young people, for them, going on a fight, hitting each other, killing each other is not a big deal. They're hot blooded. They react in such way. But what happens is the people who are left at home, the mothers or the fathers, they're the ones who suffer. That is what he's trying to say. I'll read it again. Revenge by young men is considered gain, even at the cost of their own lives. But old women, but old men who stay at home in times of war and mothers who have sons to lose know better. Who actually suffers? The mothers who lose their sons and the men who are left alone at home after these wars. A good father in Washington, for I presume he is now our father as well as yours. So here Chief Seattle, he is not directly saying that he is the best person who will come and rule over us. He says, I presume. So he is not sure, but he presumes that maybe this person, the Chief Seattle, will be a good person. Maybe he'll be a good father. Father, in a sense, the one who will take care of everyone or even his people, right? Since King George has moved his boundaries further north, our great and good father, I say, send us word that if we do as he desires, he will protect us. Now he says here, our good father. That means King George, what he has done, he has moved his boundaries. He has actually started entering into the lands of Red Indians. Give me a minute.